like to offer a special thank you to our host, alumnus Shane Donaldson, class of 1999. He currently serves URI as Assistant Athletic Director, Media Relations. We're lucky to have him guide us through our journey tonight. Shane, take it away.
Thank you very much, Amy, and welcome to the show, everybody. Tonight's Coach's Corner is with head coach Raphael Cerrato, also a fellow University of Rhode Island alumnus. Along with three leaders on the baseball team this year, we have infielder Josh Brodeur, first baseman Xavier Vargas, and center fielder Austin White, all of three of which are off to fantastic starts this season and really leading a strong campaign for the Rams so far this year. What we're asking you as participants to do tonight is to help make this an interactive program. If you're an alum of the program, please enter your name and your class year into the chat function. And please continue to add questions throughout the program for the players and for Coach Cerrato. Following the introduction by Coach Cerrato, we'll be doing a rapid fire trivia contest a little bit later in the program. Each person can only win one prize, but we're encouraging you to keep on answering each of the four questions when it's going. And then we'll move on to the question and answer session as well later. Just to give a little bit of a background on the baseball team this season, the first RPI for the season came out this week. And Rhode Island, just an indication of how strong this program is. We are 18th nationally in the RPI, which just goes to show the strength of schedule that Coach Cerrato and his staff have put together and the opportunity that they've created for this team this year. This is a championship quality program and has been for a number of years. And that's a credit to the folks like Josh, Xavier, and Austin, who you're going to hear from later on in the show. I was talking with my coworker, Jody Pomprian, who's actually the usual sports information director for baseball early in the season. And we were playing at East Carolina. It was the first game of the year. And Rhode Island was, able to score a run late in the game to force extra innings. And I texted Jody and I said, man, I love watching this team. And she corrected me and said, this isn't a team, this is a program. And she's right. And that's something that Coach Cerrato has done in his time at Rhode Island. This is not a one and done type of program that looks for success once every few years. This is a team that has championship aspirations on a year in and year out basis. And they set themselves up for that kind of success. When you're ranked 30th in the country in strength of schedule before you ever got into conference play. And on top of that, you're tied for the third most quad one wins in the country. That's amazing stuff. And it's all done through the hard work of these players who are out there in the winter, literally shoveling snow off of the field so that they can practice. That's a raw type of go-get-it that you don't see in every single program across the board. It's a mentality, it's an approach, and it's truly a pleasure to even be a part of it in a small way, to watch what these guys do on a day in and day out basis. So at this time, I'm going to ask Coach Cerrato to jump in and kind of give an overview of the program and of the season to this point. So Coach Cerrato, I'll let you take it away for a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Shane. That was really nice of you to say some nice comments. And I do believe this is, we're trying to set a certain culture with our program. And it starts with the kind of kids we recruit, the type of student athletes we bring in here. And it begins with that. It's not just about talent. Obviously we do have a lot of talent, but it's about the type of person we have, the mentality they have, the toughness they have. We do have, with my staff is phenomenal. I mean, with Kevin Vance and Sean O'Brien, Dave Fisher, Jacob Capsine, Thomas Summers with us this year. Support staff like yourself and Mook, our trainer. And I mean, just really everyone around they're just quality individuals. And that's important. Not like I said, not only players, but the staff, support staff. Scott Leach, our strength coach, is phenomenal. I mean, it's a good group. So, and it's fun to be a part of. And it's something that we want to have a certain kind of culture here. And obviously winning is a big part of that. But I think everything we do leads to the winning. for us. So, that's kind of just my thoughts about who we are, who we're trying to be as a program. And our goal is to win a championship every year in the A10. Our goal is to go to Omaha which is the ultimate. Why not? Why can't we go there? I mean, there's other Northern teams that have done it. It is not easy, but ultimately is what we're trying to do is be a good enough team to win our conference and to win a regional and move on. So that's, ultimately what we're trying to do every year. This has been it's been a good start for this season. Pretty good record right now. Of course, we would love, and we had some opportunities to have a few more wins against some really good teams. But we are, where we're at. And it's been, like I said, it's different with the trying to play in a pandemic. We've been scheduling, like we went down to Charlotte last weekend to play. We were supposed to play at Hofstra. I get a text from their coach at 6:00 Wednesday night. He's like, call me. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's bad news. So I call him up and he's like, we had one positive test. He was in the dugout all weekend. We can't play. I'm like, oh no. And we had got an email from UNC Charlotte that day. So Coach Vance contacted him, and by 4:00 the next day, we had a series set for a 15-hour bus ride to UNC Charlotte, playing their AAA stadium on Saturday. And it's crazy, like all the help that we got just to go down there and support from our administration to go do it. It was one of the craziest days of my coaching career, just to get that set up and to go down. And we had a good showing. We had an opportunity to win all three. We won one against a very good opponent, but it was well worth it to go. We've had a lot of schedule changes. I mean, originally our schedule was Kansas State, series of Kansas State, Nebraska, Mercer, all very, very good teams. We had Virginia on there for a couple weeks for a series, and that had to change. It's been crazy. And it's a little stressful too, because every week we have to test twice a week with our team. And every week, you're hoping we're good to play. So it's different. I don't want our players to be thinking about that, our student athletes, but it's certainly something I have to think about as a coach, every week. And, I'm sure we'll have a situation, we might have to pause for whatever it might be. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But so it's been different. It's been a different year. But we have a really good club. We had a tough game yesterday, end up in a tie because of darkness against Bryant, who's a really good rivalry, in-state rivalry. They're a great program, and that was a tough one yesterday. We have UConn coming up this weekend, another great program. It's actually their first home series at their new stadium, so we're excited about that. They're another excellent regional rivalry for us. So in conference, we have open up. We have Northeastern next weekend, and then we open up conference the weekend after that. Normally, this would be our opening conference weekend this week. But they had changed the schedule. They dropped 2 weekends, but then they added a game. So we're still playing the same number of games, but we just have 2 less weekends. So weekend series for conference are now 4 instead of 3. So got a lot of baseball hopefully ahead of us. Hopefully our goal is to be playing well into June. We got a good club. We've been hitting with the injury bug a little bit, but we think we have enough depth to still make a really good run. There's no doubt we have enough depth and talent to still make a really good run. I have no question about that. So I'm excited. I mean, it's just awesome. It's about, in the pandemic, it's about as normal as, in the last 12, 13 months, being on a baseball field, even though we're in masks, it is about as anything has been to me, at least personally in the last 13 months, is actually getting back on that field, watching these guys compete, seeing them have fun and get after. I mean, that's awesome. So hopefully things continue to get better with COVID, and we're in for a long run this year and playing into the summer. That's my goal. So that's it. I'm sure I'll answer some questions later, but I'll give it back to you, Shane, and hear from some of the boys.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. And we're gonna meet the players who have joined us tonight. First off, we have infielder Josh Verdor, and as a Rhode Island native myself, this is one of my favorite things about the baseball program is that we are often represented by the best of the best within the state. Josh is a Cumberland native, so he's one of several Rhode Islanders on the roster. But not only that, he's following in his father's footsteps. His father was a baseball player for the University of Rhode Island as well, which is just a really cool legacy. But Josh, welcome to the program. And if you don't mind, just give a little bit of background about yourself and kind of share with us, what it is about the Rhode Island program that made you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who put this night together, everyone in the marketing and alumni departments. Appreciate it. Shout out Mom and Dad. I see your names in the audience and all the other familiar names too. I see you guys here, so thanks for tuning in. So this is my 5th year here at the school, so I kind of know all the ins and outs by now, I would hope. Chose to come back after graduating last year to kind of get one last run at it with all the boys again. It was a tough end to the last year, as you all know. Things have kind of been a little strange, a little out of the ordinary with all this Corona stuff. So decided to give one last run at it. Didn't want to go anywhere else, figure out some life stuff while I'm at it, get another degree, and be ready to go by the time I get out of here. But yeah, I was asked to kind of come up with a favorite memory and some personal goals, so I'll share that with you guys. As for the favorite memory, I kind of had a hard time pinpointing one thing in front of another. So my favorite thing I would say about the program is just coming into school, showing up to the field every day and seeing all the guys, being able to mess around with them in the locker room. Coach kind of got on us the other day about hanging out too much in the locker room because of all the Corona stuff. So it's been tough for us to kind of stay away from each other. We're all just hanging out most of the time. That's what we like to do during the day. So that's definitely my favorite part, is just hanging out with all the guys. As for personal goals, Coach kind of touched upon it a little bit, but we just want to play as long as possible. All of us 5th years that came back, we decided to do so for a reason. We're not here just to kind of lollygag through the season. We wanted to come back, get some wins for the program and for each other, most of all, and for the coaches. So yeah, we're just here to have one last run at it, do everything we can to get some awards up for the school and for each other, and just have fun while we're doing it every day. It's a tough game, but just try and keep it loose and enjoy what we're doing, because it's going to be over at the end of the year. So yeah, just excited to be back, and I'll pass it on to X next after this.
Hi, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for being here and for everybody who made this night possible. It's a great opportunity to see faces that you can't see all the time and see people that you aren't able to see all the time. But I'm a true senior. This is my 4th year here. This school has been amazing to me, from academic aspect to sports aspect. I came here from day one, and just like JV said, we love being around each other. Every second of the day that we get, we just love hanging out. We love being together and joking around. That's the team that we built, and especially that Coach Cerrato built. From day one is everybody work together, everybody play for each other, and that's where you're going to get your best baseball out. And past 2 years, going from the short season last year to this year, we've shown that we can step on any field and compete with any team that comes in front of us. And going into that, just like JB said, we were asked to answer what was our favorite goal, and that was hard for me, and our favorite memory, and that's really hard for me to answer, but I would have to say it was the Arizona trip. That moment there was the trip that really showed us as a whole team we can work together, and we are as talented as any other program in the country to step on a field and say, you can have all the accolades in the world, all the regionals, anything, we will come in and we will not be afraid to compete against you and show that we can beat you. So that was a great thing for me personally as a memory. And then some goals that I have are just to compete every game, never lack in any aspect of the game, whether it's struggling in one aspect, don't let the other aspect struggle with it. Just keep working hard, because everything's going to come to you, and just pass the baton off to the next guy. Whatever situation you need to do your best and let the next guy do it, no matter what the situation is. And with that being said, I'll pass it on to Austin.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see everybody here tonight. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm a senior as well. Uh, it's been a fast 4 years, and even though it doesn't feel like it, I know I'm ready for the real world, but I'm not at the same time. It's some exciting stuff to be thinking about my future after college, both for baseball and my education. But that's stuff I don't have to worry about right now because we're in the middle of a season, which is awesome. Um, this team is very gritty, and we use that word because we don't give up. We pursue what we want, even if we're down 8 runs, 1 run in the 9th inning. Like, we'll do our job regardless of win or loss. Like, we'll put it all out there, and that's what I love about the guys. It's very exciting to even the younger kids, freshmen, sophomores on our team. They're ready for that next step to be a starter, to pitch, everything. They're just very comfortable, and that's what I love about this team too. And from my freshman year to my senior year, my favorite thing I've taken out of playing for this team is how comfortable everybody is with each other. From my freshman year, Zavi, Jackson, we used to come in. We were kind of nervous, obviously, as freshmen, and they brought us in with open arms. They're comfortable with everybody, and it really showed on the baseball field too, being able to possibly make those mistakes and be picked up by one of your older teammates telling you, hey, forget about it, you'll be fine. This is not your last at bat, this is not your last inning pitch, you'll be okay. And then coming back the next day being better. And that's what I love about the guys. The ability to pick each other up is just outstanding. And it shows that as long as we can do that, we can play against anybody. It really doesn't matter. And it goes back to that chip on our shoulder every day. It's great to have that confidence and honestly a little cockiness at some points, just to know that you want to be, when you step on that field, you want to be the best player at your ability every time. So yeah, I'm very happy with what's happening now with our team. Obviously, like Coach C said, we should have had a couple more wins, but I see a promising future for us as long as we just play our game. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, all three of you. That is good stuff. And Austin, I got to say, it's not cocky if you can do it. So we're going to go into the question and answer session. And please, as you get them, feel free to add questions to the chat. And Coach, I'm going to start with you because this is the number one question on everybody's mind. And I want all the parents on the call to know just how much of an advocate Coach Cerrato has been on this topic. He's been asking every single week, most weeks, more often, more of a daily basis. So I'm going to let him provide the answer to this. The question is, as the COVID rules continue to evolve, do you anticipate that spectators will be allowed at the games? And obviously, this is a touch and go situation, but since it's somewhat of a positive update, Coach, do you want to provide the piece of news that we have to offer?
Yeah, it is positive, Shane. It's been I totally understand. It's been frustrating to me, and I can't imagine what it's been like for the parents and families to not be able to come, especially the older guys. But yes, we will be allowing spectators at games, at our home games. Basically, we're going to let the parents know specifically how it's going to work, but we'll have a pass list. We won't be allowing just general public to come in. Members of your family. There were 2, 3, 4. I mean, if there's certain instances, like I know the Webb family, I know they want to have about 10 people there when he starts. We might be able to do that for certain games he pitches, but we will be able to allow family. We're going to have to do a pass list 36 hours prior. There'll actually be a ticket emailed to you, like an e-ticket that you'll show. I don't know all the details. Someone will be checking at the field. So yes, that is great news. Parents will be able to come. I think students have been able to come if they, I believe, got a ticket as well. So it'll be nice. I mean, the weather's been so good lately. We, hopefully as it continues to be good weather, we're going to, look to have some people at our games to enjoy some baseball. I know the parents it's been a tough subject, and it's awesome to finally get, a good answer for them that they will be able to come to home games.
Yeah, no doubt. And when I say that Coach Cerrato has advocated hard for this. He has stopped in my office and asked for updates every single time that we talk. So it's impressive, but it is important to be able to share in these experiences. Unfortunately, we had to take it step by step and follow the state guidelines. The first biggest priority was for the guys to be able to get back on the field and play. It was gut-wrenching last year to see that come to a halt. So it's been a slow, arduous process, but we are very excited that we're going to be able to have people back at I almost gave away one of the trivia question answers, so I'll stop myself there. So, all right, we're going to move to a question for the players, and I'm going to start with you, Xavier. I want folks to know that Xavier's one of my favorite student athletes here. He used to stop in the office all the time when he was attached to Jackson Coots' hip all the time. But now that Jackson has moved on and is playing pro ball, he doesn't seem to make his way to MAPL 219 anymore. But, I won't take a personal X. It's okay. But I want you to kind of touch on the brotherhood that comes with playing college sports. And the reason I'm asking you is because I did hear through the grapevine, about Long Toss Brothers for Life. And it was a gift that you sent to Jackson. But to me, it was emblematic of the type of relationships that guys build when they're in the trenches together for 4 and 5 years together. It's something special. And I was just hoping you could kind of expound upon that and what it means to be a part of a program like this.
Yeah. As you know, Jackson was one of my best friends when we were here and still is my best friend. Just like all these guys are very, very close friends to me as a whole group. That's why we are so close and we work so well together. But as a program, when you walk into a program, as a program like URI, if you don't have that camaraderie, especially from the older players, it's one that is not going to have a group that will fight together. And what I noticed the moment I stepped here, where it came from Brett McManus, Kevin Heiss, Jordan Powell, you step into a program, they greet you with open arms and they make you work hard. Because all they want is for you to be successful, because what that does is makes the team successful. Everybody working hard and pushing to help each other just makes the whole team as a whole successful. So the camaraderie that this program shows, and that many programs that play well show, is that when you walk into a program, when you walk into a room, the first moment, the first few days, it's just getting to learn who everybody is, just to make sure that once you need to talk to them, anything you need to do, you know how to approach them. And you show them that you have open arms to be able to have them come to you when they're in need. And that's what I feel like we do as a program. When somebody's struggling, you can go to anybody and ask, hey, I need your help, whether it's going to hit at any time of the day, or it's just a person that you need to talk to when you're struggling and you just need to clear your mind. Everybody on the team is there for you no matter what. And that's why I love that I chose this school, and I don't regret the option that I made. And I'm glad that I came to this school.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Xavier. Austin, I'm going to go to you next and going to talk about the opportunities that are provided. Coach Cerrato touched on it briefly, but, last weekend, all of a sudden we're playing in Charlotte and playing in a place like Truist Field, which is, for the folks that don't know, the AAA ballpark for the Charlotte Knights. It's one of the top AAA ballparks in the country, absolutely gorgeous setting. And it's the top farm club for the Chicago White Sox. And this is something that came together last second, but the opportunities that Coach Cerrato and his staff produce on a year in and year out basis are not by accident. They do it year in and year out. Xavier talked about going to Arizona, but for you as the leadoff hitter that game and stepping out onto the field and playing in that type of environment, with the city skyline just beyond the outfield fence, can you give the fans here a sense of what that was like and stepping into that type of facility?
Oh my goodness, what a good question. it really like made me like take a step back and like make sure like, wow, you should never take things for granted, because it's something like not a lot of people get to do. And it's really amazing that I'm lucky enough to have people behind me pushing me to be able to play at this level, and then eventually getting awarded, pretty much playing at such a beautiful stadium, and obviously very unexpected too, for what we went through and all the stuff we had to go through to actually pick up that series. It was very unexpected, but also very exciting. I'm not the nervous type really, but when I stepped in the box and took it all in, it was like, it stunk that my parents weren't there to see it, but I could tell when they were watching the stream, they were as excited as I was, but I was just a little calmer than them in the box, and they probably were screaming at home, knowing them. But yeah, it just told me like to never take things for granted, and always like push yourself, because good things happen to good people. And it really shows. Like, for our guys, we've worked hard our whole lives. We've been playing in the fall in 30-degree weather with terrible wind, and then to come to a place like that and take a beautiful breath of fresh air, it's like, this is why we do what we do, and this is why we came here. And it's very humbling and very warm to see like everything that's been happening for us in our program.
That's pretty cool. Thank you very much. Josh, going to move on to you. And you talked about you've been here for 5 years, and we're not going to rush the season and everything, but as you kind of take a step back, what are the skills and the lessons that you've learned in your time here that you feel like you're going to be able to apply to life moving forward?
Yeah, that's another good question. I think anyone that's ever played baseball really knows the answer to that. Going through the game, you experience a lot of ups and downs. It's very translatable to life as we know it. So I think being able to stay even keel, being able to come back if you mess something up, if you fail in life, always being able to bounce back, and just being tough, being able to fight through anything, and always look at life 1 second at a time. I think that's the biggest thing I'll be able to take with me. And I hope anyone who's recruiting me for a job can see that as well. Hopefully they will.
That's a good step. Coach, we have a question here from Apostle Lasky in the comments, and it says, as you approach conference play, what teams do you see as the biggest challengers to compete for the A10 conference title?
Well, with the two different halves, we're not playing the other side. So our number one goal is we've got to get to our goal is to be top seed in the conference tournament. But the top two teams in our half make it. So, I mean, Fordham is always a real good rivalry for us. So I know they have very good pitching this year. So Fordham's going to be tough. I know UMass is a lot better than they have been in recent years. And they've been decent. They've been pretty good, but I know they had a really good start this year. St. Joe's looks pretty good this year. St. Bonaventure really has just started playing, so it's hard to say what they're going to be about. And LaSalle, if people I don't know, LaSalle is planning on dropping baseball after the season, which is terrible news. But they are, and that's, as a program like that, you don't know what to expect from them. But man, they have had a pretty good start. They got a winning record, I think, right now, or close to winning record. So it's going to be tough. I mean, our half. I mean, I think Fordham is our biggest rival, and it has been in recent years, at least regionally in conference. And then the other side, I mean, there's some good teams. VCU's good. Let's see, Richmond, Davidson, St. Louis, Dayton, they're all real good teams. So it's going to be, I know the other half is going to be a real fight. I don't know who's going to make it out of the top two teams in that half. But in my opinion, we should be one of the favorites on our side. There's no doubt about that. And I expect us to be the number one seed in the conference tournament. That's what I expect right now from this group. So, but it's baseball. It's going to be interesting. 4 games in a weekend that's very different. That's a lot of games. It's a big difference between 3 to 4. So we got to be tough, to get through that. It's a lot of innings, double headers every Saturday. It's going to be a fight.
All right. Thank you, Coach. a couple days ago, I actually heard coaching on an interview, and he was asked about the leaders on his team, and he specifically pointed to X and Josh, and he talked about them just being guys that he would put up in an at-bat against any pitcher in the country because of their approach to the game. Josh used the phrase even keel, so I'm just wondering if both of you can kind of touch on that aspect of the approach to the game, and I'll have X go first. You never seem to be someone who gets too high or too low over the grind of a baseball season when you're talking about 56 regular season games. How do you control that mental approach to the game?
I will say it's not that easy, but the main thing to do is just to take each at bat by the at bat. Don't think of previous or think of future, what could happen. It's always taking it pitch by pitch. And the biggest thing I've learned is even in times of struggle, you have to look at each at bat as a positive note, where you look at it as whether you did good or bad, what in the at bat did you do good, and what in the at bat did you not do good. And it's just learning from there to make it a positive in the future, to not make the same mistake if it wasn't a great at bat. And it's also just knowing that, like I spoke about a little bit earlier, was trusting my team. Trusting my team makes it so much easier for me to just go in that bat and just do what I need to do, because I know whether it's successful or not, that person behind me and the rest of the guys in the whole lineup are going to do what they need to do to get the job done if I can't do it that one time. So having a team like that makes it so much easier to go through a season and take each at bat slowly and as relaxed as you can be, because there are moments that are critical and it can really get you amped up and excited and really ready to do it. But having those guys behind kind of lets you take a step back and say, okay, time to just go in there, do what I have to do my best, and the result's going to be the results. But I know whatever happens, the guys behind me got me, and that's the biggest thing for me.
That's awesome, X. Thank you. Josh, same type of thing. Xavier kind of touched on it, but your lineup up and down, you've gotten production from spots 1 through 9. So you're not relying on the top half of the order, as productive as you guys are up there. How much does that allow you to play without pressure?
I think that's a big part of our offense is not really having one or two guys that are gonna hit a home run every time. It's gonna have to be everyone keeping the line moving, singles, doubles, and just keeping the pressure on the defense is the biggest thing we always talk about. So I think that really helps and plays into our hands when we're at the plate. Everyone knows they're a big part of the offense, and it's not falling on anyone's shoulders in particular. So I think that's a big part of how we produce runs for our team.
And Austin, that'll lead right into you. Obviously you're the table setter at the top of the lineup, and it seems like just about every recap that I'm writing involves Austin White scoring at some point or another. But you're also leading the league in stolen bases. How much do you view your role in terms of pressuring the other team's defense into making mistakes when they're pitching to guys like Josh and X?
It's pretty exciting. It's fun. I've been batting pretty much lead off my whole life. It's good to be able to weather the outcome for me, see some pitches during my at-bats, and regurgitate the information of where the pitcher's throwing the baseball for JB to Zavi, making sure they're not swinging at balls in the dirt. If you can command a curveball, all that stuff. Like, my job is to get as much information as possible during that first at-bat, so our bottom of the lineup, middle of the lineup just keeps rolling and they understand what's going on. And the added help would just be getting on base too, and JB just doing his job, and then keep the snowball effect keeps going. Because like Zavi stated, we're a great team at picking each other up, and I can always trust the guy behind me or the guys at the bottom of the lineup, in the middle of the lineup to pick each other up and get that big knock or produce that walk to get on base, get to second. But as a leadoff hitter, I'm very comfortable and confident in myself to either get on base or just have a good AB, take a good amount of pitches to relay the information to our other guys at the other parts of the lineup. So it's pretty fun. I don't think I have any like nervousness when I'm up to bat usually, because I know like failure happens and I'm not going to get a hit every time. JB's not going to get a hit every time. Zyva's not going to get a hit every time. So we just have to know to understand what goes wrong, fix it, tell our teammates to look for it so they can do a better job, and then so can we.
Awesome. Very much. We'll do one more question, and I'll give this one to Coach Cerrato. And it's a play off of a question from Henry Winkleman, who's on the call listening. He wanted to know about the pro prospects within the program. And just so folks know, in his time here, Coach Cerrato has produced more than a dozen professional ball players, several draft picks, several guys who have signed. And even though we haven't been able to allow fans to this point this season, we did have one of our home games, more than half of Major League Baseball was represented scouting. And then that entire weekend, there were scouts in the stands. And I know I'd spoke with a couple of guys that are scouts that love the top half of our batting order, which is actually represented here on this call. Had a lot of real nice things to say about these guys. But Coach, what does it mean to be able to provide the opportunity and be able to say to guys, listen, you come through the program and that chance is going to be here. You're going to be seen and you will have that opportunity.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, basically every kid that comes to our program, their ultimate goal is to play professionally. So we want to try to put guys in the best position as we can to get to that next level. I mean, that's very important for me. Obviously, for us, winning is number one. The team is number one. But on the side of that, there's also the professional aspect of it. And I tell a lot of guys who do have real legitimate chances. I mean, it's good to have that, but to me, like the pro ball stuff that's just an extra motivator to get your butt out of bed in early in December to go to the weight room or go to the cages or whatever it might be. That's what needs to be part of your motivation if you want to play, because it's not easy to get to the next level. We have a number of guys who have a shot to play at the next level. I mean, Xavier and Austin are definitely getting interest from scouts. I mean, I don't know why JB could definitely hit at the next level for sure. But we have Mark Coley, John Morrison, some younger guys. I mean, Billy Butler certainly has pro power if he can stay healthy and get on the field. But that's important. I mean, I think we have our scout day in the fall, and most major league teams come to see us because they know who we are, and it's important to get these guys in a position to get seen. And I talk to scouts a lot, but I have to be honest too, with guys and what I think. And so it's very important for the program. I think it shows well when guys get drafted, guys, and that's a good thing, not only because we have talented players, but it helps recruiting. All that's important. I want our guys to play as long as they can. And if that's 4 years of college, it's 4 years of college. If it's 15 years of pro ball, awesome. And we're trying to do everything we can to help them get to the next level. And I think having guys like Kevin Vance, Dave Fisher, and Chris Hess, who just left the staff to be coaching with the Red Sox. I mean, those guys all played a lot of professional baseball, and that's a benefit. Having guys who play at that level can help. And I've coached a lot of guys that have gone on the pro level, and I know scouts are interested in looking for, and we try to put our guys in the best position to obviously have success here first, but also get an opportunity to go to the next level.
Absolutely. And it's been happening on a year in and year out basis, and it's awesome to witness. So it's time for trivia. So what I'm going to do here is read off 4 rapid fire trivia questions and type your answers into the chat function, and the first correct answer will be our winner for each question. So here we go. Question number 1. How many times has Rhode Island won the Atlantic 10 championship? Question 2, which is one that I almost blew earlier tonight. What venue is home to the Rhode Island baseball team? Question 3, how long has Raphael Cerrato been the head coach of the Rams? And number 4, this one is a 50-50, so go ahead and take your best stab if you don't know. True or false, there are 2 statues of Rhodey the Ram on the URI Kingston campus. So we'll go through and get those winners for you, and we'll announce them in just a little bit. At this time, I'm going to introduce Garrett Waller, who is the Associate Athletic Director for Development here at the University of Rhode Island, and a former baseball player himself, although he played at Stony Brook and I believe gave up the longest home run in the history of the program. He was the closer for the program, even though they had one of the all-time greats in baseball history at that position. So I'll let Garrett talk about that and the home run that he gave up. So Garrett, take it away.
Well, we could talk about that home run forever. It was not the longest one in Stony Brook history. It was the longest one in baseball history. I'm pretty sure one of the guys on Josh or Xavier or Austin probably hit one further already, but for some reason I get the credit for giving up the longest one. But Josh, Xavier, Austin, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Once again, you've represented the program with great class, and I'm amazed at the talent that you guys have, and I'm very happy that you're here, and I hope we can continue to bring people like you into our program. The real reason I'm here real quick is just to talk about the things that we can do for the URI baseball program. I believe that we have an alumni base and a group of individuals that can really impact our program, and we're talking about how we can win the Atlantic 10 conference championship. And I think one of those ways is to be able to ensure ourselves of being able to be in the rotation to host that. And with that in mind, I would love to be able to see us put together a plan to be able to fundraise the money to make our field up to the standards to host that, meaning lights, locker rooms, and facilities to that. So that's one of the goals that I have that I've been talking to Raph about for years, and I would love to be able to make that come true for him. And then on the other side of it, we also have the ability to provide a great experience for our student athletes and give them the opportunities to play these games out on the West Coast or in Texas or in the middle of America that are harder to get to and cost money. So your annual support is always very, very vital to what we do. And so we appreciate everything that you've done. I hope you continue to do it. I do notice that we do have an alum from the far West Coast, Scott Levine. Scott, you're probably out in San Francisco somewhere. We hope you're doing well. We hope to see you soon. Right now, the university is in the midst of a capital campaign of which every gift to athletics and therefore the baseball program counts. We've raised over $202 million out of a $250 million goal. And we'd love nothing more to be able to close that gap with a bunch of support for Coach Cerrato and his student athletes. So if you have any questions or if you want to talk about the program and how ways to support it, please feel free to contact me or Jeff Bennett and Nick Naradowi, and we'll figure out a way to go ahead and make that a reality. So thank you very much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. And we hope to see you soon at a game with the great news that Coach Cerrato was able to give us earlier tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Garrett. And while we're at it, I'm going to reread question 2, because even though I almost gave away the answer in the opening 30 seconds of the show, we don't have that answer yet. We don't have a winner. So what is the venue for home baseball here at the University of Rhode Island? And then as we're winding down here tonight, we want to ask folks to go ahead and just give some well wishes to the players. Oh, there we go. So that is correct. So Amy, I did not catch who the first 3 winners are. If you don't mind sharing.
I took care of it. I got it.
You got it? Okay, awesome. So Coach Cerrato, before I give it to you, this is just a fun fact that I don't know if you realize it, but tonight is actually a bit of an anniversary for you and I. 24 years ago tonight, you and I were at Bill Beck Field for quite possibly the coldest baseball game that I've ever been a part of, and one of the longest. I was a sophomore at the time, writing for the Good 5 Cent Cigar, and it's appropriate because we're playing UConn this weekend. 24 years ago tonight, we played UConn, and the final score was 32-14, and it was about 10 degrees in the last inning, and both teams batted around, and it was the closest I've ever come in my years as a reporter to crying because I just wanted the last out to happen because I couldn't feel any of my fingers and toes. And it was just one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And I say that very facetiously, but I don't know if you remember that, but you were actually a volunteer coach with the team at the time. And that was, I believe, your first go round on the staff here at the University of Rhode Island. So happy anniversary to you and me. It's been a long time. So, but I'll toss it to you now if you don't mind giving some closing.
I remember that game, Shane.
Yeah, it was, when I say that it was like one of the most memorable and coldest and frigid things that I've ever been a part of. I'm dead serious about that.
I do remember that game, Shane. I think Coach Leone got thrown out. I think, or I don't know, because I remember the interview.
Yes.
Afterwards, but that was a crazy game. I do remember that. I think we might have scored 8 runs, and it was basically almost dark out when we hit. That game was brutal. But I want to thank everyone here for just being on tonight. A lot of parents are here, some alums. Really appreciate just interested in listening to what we have to say. I'm just so proud. Like, listen to Austin, Xavier, and JB. Just hearing them talk. I mean, I'm so proud of these guys. Like of who they are as people. Seeing these guys grow up from freshmen to where they are now. I mean, it's one of the most enjoyable things I get as a coach, and just hear them speak about our program and just proud of them and who they are and who they've become. And it has nothing to do with being a baseball player. To have these guys representing our program is just phenomenal. And it's a little emotional almost, like, to see these guys, like, they're older now, and like there's not a ton of time left for them here. But I'm excited for the rest of the season. And I think we're going to do a lot of really good things, and I can't wait to watch these guys play again tomorrow. I love watching our team play, which is quite that to go to work every day and you're doing so. But thanks to everyone for being on. Thanks for hosting, Shane, Amy, Garrett. I know Nick and Jeff are on. Thank you for setting us up and for all the work you guys do for us.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time. To each of the guys, Josh, Xavier, and Austin, can't say thank you enough, not only for being here tonight, but for the way that you represent us as a university on and off the field. As an alum, you make my degree that much stronger because of who you are. And I can't tell you how much that means. So, Amy, thank you for everything. And folks, have a great night. And thank you very much.